Hello, hello, and welcome to another day of my reach exceeding my grasp. But what is heaven for? I've got all kinds of information for you today. Welcome. I'm here literally every single day of the year to take your political questions out of the chat. Just leave your questions in the chat before I come on. Epic troll slayers, you've kept us safe for years. Thank you. And we have got a fantastic community because you have been so kind to each other and so kind to me. Thank you. And if you're watching on replay, hello. You can go down in the description box, or you will be able to go down in the description box. All the questions will be listed there. I'll timestamp them as I go, so you can pick and choose what you're interested in, or you can watch back on a higher speed, whatever works for you. So, hello. I'm glad you like the kitties. Reminded me of my Nick. My good Nick. He was, longtime viewers know, I had him from when I was 15 until I was 35. His mother was a purebred Siamese, and his father was a big black alley cat. He had the most beautiful face. Such a sweetie. Anyway. Sierra's wondering, do you have a nickname for your viewers? I don't. I've never thought of that. I don't know that my Aquarius midheaven wants me to be naming my viewers, but I guess people in the chat can decide for themselves. So I have turned the microphone up a little bit, the volume up a little bit. Am I too loud? Is it easier to hear me? Just let me know, please. All right. G Green says no nicknames, please. Yeah, I would think so. Oh, Sierra Gal says sunbeams. Oh, that's sweet. That's sweet. Anyway. All right, we're going to jump in. I hope, oh, it sounds good. Is it any better? Any better than it was? Maybe a little? Anyway, well, I'm working out. I'm trying to improve things for you. Okay. M. Kelpie, does it help if we wait through the commercials? I don't imagine. I don't know. I don't know. Just do what you feel you should do, and I'll make it work. All right. How about Friends? Catherine says. There we go. I like that. All right. Or which Autumn joined the red lipstick resistance today. I guess I did. Yeah. Anyway. All right. Good. Let's do this then, because holy buckets. All right. Hopefully, now the text on this is going to be too small, but we're going to go through it. And I'm hoping as we go through the year, I know I will make graphics that are more specific. But today I want to give you a list of key dates to watch for in 2026. And hopefully this will help all of us to get a sense of where the energy is going and kind of what to brace for or what to get ready for or what have you. So obviously, specifically what's going on astrologically, it will affect you personally in your chart. Things will fall in particular places in your chart. But what I'm looking for specifically is what I'm looking at specifically is more for the U.S. Dumpster fire and President dumpster fire and the like, or maybe world events too. So, just do put your questions in the chat before I come on, please. I came on at 11:30 and there was nothing. There was literally not a single thing, there was nobody. Eventually, one person said hello. That was it. At 11:30, nothing. And by that point, I've got to put the description box together. So, okay. Canadian Poodle Mom, yes, liar, liar, dumpster fire. I like that. All right. I know the text is too small, but we're going to go through it. Ding. Look at that. 2026 key dates, and I have notes. All right. So there are some important things coming up. And we need to talk about it. Just put your questions in the chat before I come on, please. All right. We're going to start with April. Oh, wait, I'm starting this at 5 minutes, 5:25. 2026 astrology. All right. So April 17th will be about just over a month. And we're going to have a new moon, which would be great, except it's going to be conjunct Chiron. And we've talked about Chiron before, the healer with the wound that will not heal. And because he had a wound that would not heal, he became a healer. And that is where Chiron lands in your chart, is where it's an asteroid. And where it lands in your chart is where you have a soft spot, you have a bruise, you have a button people can push. And the best thing we can do is try to help others. It's the best way to deal with that energy. But this new moon is going to be in Aries. And of course, we've been talking about Aries and how Aries is very much the battlefield, or, the Wild West and pioneer days, that kind of thing. This new moon is going to be conjunct Chiron. It's going to be in the same place as Chiron. It's just going to be this Chironic energy. So a fresh start, new moon's a fresh start, but it's going to be, there's that wound that will not heal will be right there. Aries, because of what we're going through, Aries rules things like, of course, identity, being first, pioneering, the soldiers, and first strikes, that kind of thing. It's martial energy. Aries is ruled by Mars, so martial energy. So that will be April 17th. It's at 26 Aries, which is the U.S. fourth house. So still that at-home energy. Who we thought we were versus what we're being asked to do is how one person put it. This lunation, as it's called, opens a 2-week window where the collective anger and grief about military action, personal sacrifice, and national identity come to a head. Yikes. The chart ruler Mars is applying to Saturn. This is not impulsive energy, it's pressurized. Something being architected, not exploded yet. And it would be like, okay, well, that's that. Okay, we'll deal with it. We'll deal with it. Here's the problem. 2 days later, right there. These are all in April. Those are all in October. These are all in April. 2 days later, Mars is going to conjunct Saturn in Aries. And you know, I talked to you repeatedly about when Neptune. See, this is our martial. We do have a rather martial. The bottom of our chart, our home life, our childhood, the motherland. We do have this very martial energy, which is why we're the country that's all Second Amendment. It's one of the things we have to put up with just because of our chart. And Neptune has come in and is still sloshing around, kind of flooding the place, weakening foundations. It's still there. Neptune's still there on the bottom of our chart, our IC it's called, just short for it's Latin. Imum Celi. You don't need to know that. Anyway, the point is the bottom of the chart. This is sloshing around. Well, Saturn, the taskmaster, the reckoning, the receipt, the bill, the reckoning. Saturn came in and has hit this. So we have this mess, And then what, the insurance adjuster? I don't know, but it's like, okay, that's going to cost you. That's going to cost you. That needs to be fixed. It's like, really? Well, Saturn has moved on just a little bit. Still, it's not as conjunct with Neptune anymore, but Saturn's still right there on our home, on our sense of our domestic life. Saturn, the reckoning, the taskmaster, still there. And Mars, the soldier, god of war, is going to conjunct Saturn near the bottom of our chart. So Mars conjunct Saturn. I mean, it's not exact. This is like at 1 degree, and this conjunction will be at like 7 degrees. So it's not a conjunction on this, but it's in this house. It's in the neighborhood. This is one person said this is the most historically loaded date of the spring. Mars is raw force. Saturn is authority and structure. In Aries, it's the soldier meeting the general. And historically, this aspect produces insubordination, not obedience. Past examples of how this creates insubordination. 1805, there was Aaron Burr's conspiracy. 1863, there was the Order of the American Knights. 2003, Shinseki publicly contradicted Rumsfeld on troop numbers. Oops. 2006, there was the revolt of the generals. This conjunction also directly triggers the Saturn-Neptune conjunction from February 20th, what I was just talking about. The foundation of the country. Military authority pressing on the homeland. So the reason this is a little worrying, the reason I'm bringing this up is because if you just look at the keywords, same thing with tariff. You look at the keywords, and then you see how the pieces could fit together. And these pieces this is a new emotional beginning right on our wound. And within a couple of days this conjunction will be so close that it will still have an effect. It will just be its strongest 2 days later, where we get this insubordination, that's a little worrying. That's a little worrying. The 23rd, so 4 days after that, Venus conjunct Uranus. Venus rules Taurus, so it's not only all about Venus beauty and all of this and femininity, but it rules Taurus. So there's also a certain amount of physicality, money, your own money, making ends meet, getting the garden to grow, that kind of thing. And Uranus, of course, is always this chaotic. It's this chaotic energy. It's the planet that's spinning on its side. All the other planets doing these lovely pirouettes around the sun. Uranus is just like a bowling ball. It's what we consider the North Pole. Its North Pole is actually just south of its equator. Yeah. What would be its equator? Anyway, so if that tells you, okay, so right now this is going to happen in Taurus. So Venus loves Taurus. Venus is very happy in Taurus. Venus is very powerful in Taurus because she's home. Uranus has been in Taurus since 2018. We knew there was going to be a rise of cryptocurrency and things like that as this Uranian technology really settled into this Taurian of the farm village with the bank and the home, that kind of creature comforts. Yeah. So, but this is going to be their final conjunction. And it's going to be in the last degree of Taurus, which some people think of as a crisis degree. No, it's not always, but some people think of it that way. And this could be, because it's Uranus, this could be a little bit of a jolt. There could be a sudden market move, labor disruption, shock to commodity prices, big announcement by a financial institution. I do agree, 29 degrees, it quite often can be not subtle. And whatever gets disrupted here does not go back to the way it was. So, on the 17th, we have a new moon conjunct Chiron. On the 19th, we have Mars conjunct Saturn. On the 23rd, we have Venus conjunct Uranus. And then 2 days after that, Uranus goes into Gemini. So, I mean, I figure, we need to talk about this because it's March 9th. And we need to look more closely at all of this, which we will on future days, to see, okay, what do we need to brace for? What are we expecting? So forewarned is forearmed. Raymond says, #send Baron. Yes. So Uranus enters on April 25th. Uranus, the bowling ball planet with the crazy bolts of energy coming off of it that rules technology, and also think of the Statue of Liberty, equality, humanitarianism. Uranus rules Aquarius, so it also rules that as well. But there's a whole lot of unexpected energy, flashes of genius and technology as well. Uranus is going to go into Gemini. The last time Uranus was in Gemini was 1942 to 1949. Great. And it's doing that after okay. You get things like wartime propaganda. Back then, like the invention of the computer. One of the major movements forward in the invention of the computer, atomic age of communication, GI Bill rewriting who gets educated and who learns to say words, rewriting. Okay. And because Uranus rules revolution as well, this could begin 7 years of revolution in how information moves. Everything else Gemini rules how we think, communicate, travel, especially local travel, contracts, all this kind of stuff. AI, media fracture, transportation, education, all Gemini domains enter a period of unpredictable, rapid, irreversible change. Okay, and it isn't mentioned here, but okay. The fall 2027, so the following year, not this summer, but next year's summer, the US, we're gonna have our Uranus return. So where Uranus is in our chart, that's going to become like a super Uranus. It's going to become wildly important. Kind of the way on your birthday. Your birthday is your solar return. The sun returns to where it was when you were born. And it's because your sun is your sense of self. your sense of self is nice and big and lit. And it's your birthday. Let's celebrate me. Well, this is Uranus. So Uranus for the countries coming back to go Uranian energy, technology, humanitarianism, rebellion. Oh, great. That's next summer. Really? Okay. So, that'll be 2027. Okay. And this, when it first goes, Uranus first goes into Gemini here, that's kind of like the opening act. So, Sarah Gal says I have to Google what a Chiron is. I explained earlier, it's an asteroid, and it is named after a centaur who was hit with a magic or poisonous arrow of some nature, and he sustained a wound that would never heal. Because he knew pain, he became a healer. And that is what we are all called to do when it comes to where Chiron is in our chart. Mine is in Aries, which longtime viewers know it's been very hard for me to step up, put myself out there, and take initiative to talk to other people and that kind of thing. Anyway. All right, so that's April. June. We have at least we have one of June 9th. Independence Day. It's going to be lit. I hope not. August, September, and then we get October. July is going to be a big deal. Anyway, there's also anyway, we'll get there. June 9th. This could be actually good because Venus, who we're just talking about, is actually going to be in the same place as Jupiter. And these are the two planets that are considered the most beneficial. And they are going to come together in the sign of Cancer, which is Big Mom of the zodiac. And our sun is in the US, our sun is in Cancer. Actually, we have a lot of stuff in Cancer. The single most financially favorable day of 2026 could be June 9th. Something to keep an eye on. Venus rules money and values and valuables. That's Taurus. But Jupiter expands everything it touches. Absolutely. Biggest gas giant we've got can be, it's optimistic, real Sagittarius. My father's a Sagittarius. Optimistic, friendly, what's out in the world, what's over the hill, life is good, all this kind of stuff. When Sagittarius goes bad, it can be a giant blowhard, or promise things it can't live up to. And I'm thinking about Trump, who has his moon in Sagittarius. My father's awesome, by the way. I love him very much. So the single most financially favorable day. So if you're going to come out with, you're going to try to sell something or set up a shop or start a business, consider, obviously it'll depend on what's on your chart, but consider June 9th. That might be a good day to do financial stuff, perhaps. Cancer rules home, family, domestic economy. And this conjunction falls in the U.S.'s eighth house as normal. I used whole signs, by the way. And the eighth house, though, is the house of debt, shared resources, and other people's money. Let me show you something. Ding. This is the basic chart. Mr. Pumpkin Pencil, he's back. All right, down here, the green circle, that is Taurus. We were talking about values and valuables, what you have. Well, directly across from that, up here at the red circle up here, This is the house of Scorpio. This is other people's money. This is death and taxes. But this is if you're going to make a lot of money, it's probably going to have something to do with your second house or the second house. If you are going to inherit a lot of money, then you want to be looking at up here in the 8th house, house of Scorpio. Well, the U.S. sun is in the sign of Scorpio, along with some other stuff. And so this Venus conjunct Jupiter is going to be in this house. So so, and on a personal level, this would be a good day to close a deal, launch a product, make a major purchase. So June 9th, I don't, it's not all gloom and doom. All right, so moving on. I know it's taking a long time, but this is important. Okay. This is a kicker. It's about our 250th anniversary. Independence Day. Did you know that Donald Trump is not only trying to, between here and there, trying to set up the UFC fight on the White House grounds? He's also setting up a car race on the streets of DC. There's a reason we don't do that anymore. But he's a toddler with way too much power. Anyway, so on Independence Day, remember Mars, the soldier? Remember Uranus? We just talked about Uranus repeatedly, the bowling ball. Mars is going to be conjunct Uranus. July 3rd, 4th, on the U.S.'s 250th birthday. Two things happening simultaneously on the 4th of July. United States turns 250 years old. And Mars meets Uranus in a degree that sits between the U.S., Mars, and Uranus. Okay, the last time Mars and Uranus were conjunct in Gemini was August 1947. The National Security Act, the CIA's founding, beginning of the Cold War. This is explosive, fast, unpredictable energy on a day already charged with national symbolism. Exactly, Chris Cole. What could possibly go wrong? The same week, it's not here, but the same week, big old Jupiter, big, broad, optimistic Jupiter is going to be opposite Pluto. The Pluto is I usually explain it as being the nuclear facility in your chart that can go very, very good or very, very bad. Well, Jupiter is going to be opposite Pluto that week. Expansion on a seesaw with Pluto energy. That's national ego and ambition in direct confrontation with collective transformation and hidden power. Not a normal holiday. So we'll be looking, like I said, we'll take these one at a time in future, and we will look at them, especially as we get closer to them. And yeah, I'd go hide too. Okay, Deb says, is he going to race the squeaky tanks? Squeak, 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 squeak. Yeah, awesome. All right, August 12th, total solar eclipse in Leo. Historically, solar eclipses in Leo are, because the sun rules Leo, are historically signal events around royalty, heads of state, courts of law, and dramatic public spectacle. And Leo rules all of those. So in the U.S. chart, Leo falls in the 9th house, which is foreign policy, Supreme Court, international law, higher education, and publishing. Total eclipse here open. This is a 6-month window where events of those areas are irreversible. Something is decided, ruled, or announced that reshapes legal or geopolitical landscape. Can we make it some of these jerks in the government being held accountable? Please. Please. Yeah. And very quickly, just letting you know, we'll go, like I said, we'll go into this future. September, Venus is going to be square Pluto. Venus is going to be in Scorpio, which is already deep, obsessive, financially intense territory, squaring Pluto in Aquarius, which rules collective networks. This is the opening pressure. This is the opening pressure valve on everything that's been building in private credit, AI-driven financial systems, economic power concentration. So we'll get there. October 3rd. So what's going to happen in October? Venus is going to go retrograde. Always an assessment of what we value. October 15th, Pluto will station direct. The energy it's been processing internally will externalize. And in Aquarius, that is collective power, technology, systemic restructuring. Of October 19th and 20th down here. And they're both, my understanding is they're both gonna station in a square. That'll be fun. We'll get there. And then October 23rd, Venus perfectly conjunct the sun, heart of the retrograde, and Venus Cazimi, it's called. And it's when important decisions can be made with clarity. So it's not all bad, but it's a lot. So I wanted you to be aware that this is what's coming up. And I've lost like 200 people since I started talking. Okay, but I'm trying to help. I'm trying to help you. I really am. And I went to all the trouble of looking all this stuff up and making a graphic, and because this is what's coming. And we need to be aware and just be like, okay. Cazimi, it has to do with when a planet, it's named, I'm guessing it's named after an astronomer, but it's when you have the sun and you have a planet that goes, when a planet is, okay, so they say this is a sun. When you have a planet coming along, we're going to say Mr. Pumpkin pencil's head, all right, it's going to be a planet, all right? A pumpkin planet is moving along. Now, it means cuteness and orange helpfulness. Okay, that's what this planet means. Well, as it moves, things move counterclock. Okay, this will work. As it moves into the sun like this, it kind of gets blown out. You can't really see it. It's whatever, like think of the sun giving off energy. It's like blowing that energy straight out. And over here, and it's like you can't see it. But when it reaches the middle of the sun, I guess that energy is being blown right at us because it becomes very clear. This energy becomes there. We get real cute clarity in this case. And then it moves on, and again, it's blown out. But then once it clears the sun, then everything goes back to normal. Does that make sense? There you go. Lennis says, please go over this again as we go through the days. I absolutely will. Thank you, Chris Cole. Oh, thank you, Cat Toy. And thank you, Bellion. Or MB. Okay, thank you. All right. So, and one of these days, I am going to better explain retrogrades to you, because I realized the way I explained it before, no, I blew it, and I need to correct that. So anyway, I like Mr. Pumpkin Pencil, in case you haven't noticed. He's great. But we have other questions. Let's move on. 35, wow, 3535. So we know oil prices are surging as the Iran conflict widens. Governments are scrambling to cushion fuel shock with emergency measures. Mr. Global is a man on social media who really knows what he's talking about when it comes to the energy sector. And he's talking about dieselflation, which is where the price of diesel is going up so high that those costs absolutely get passed on to us. And because it's diesel, most often that will affect us with food prices. So honestly, one of the best things I ever bought was my rice cooker. I know not everybody can buy a rice cooker, but my goodness, it's a good thing. So the number of, I know there are cheaper ways to do it, but honestly, rice cooker, I have this medium grain brown rice, which is amazing. It's so much better than other brown rice. But that and a can of beans, and then whatever vegetables I have or seasonings, I feel like the number of times I have rice and beans and then something with it it's easy and inexpensive. So Canadian Poodle Mom says small rice cookers are only about $20 here in Canada. Oh, there you go. The one Cauldron Hill Craftwork says Instant Pot cooks rice too. There we go. Mine is, I want to say, I think mine was it was 80 to 100. It was expensive, but it works quite well. So anyway, Tishy says, do you make bread from scratch or use bread mixes? I make bread from scratch, but I did save up for a bread machine. So yeah, I love technology. I love machines to help me. Because even though I help my parents for everything I need, I'm on my own. And I run a small business. And yeah, so just have to get the machines to do as much for me as they can. So yes, you can cook rice. I'm so sorry. Absolutely. Canadian Poodle Mom, you can cook rice just on the top of the stove. You don't need a rice cooker. It's just easy for me, especially with brown rice. Anyway. And yeah, the garden. I have my 2 raised beds, and I've got to figure out what I'm going to put in this year. War is also affecting the regional stability, global shipping lanes. So let's have a look at the economy. Bear says, I cook rice on the stove, which only takes 20 minutes. There you go. I'm assuming that's white rice. So I'm vegan, so I have to do I don't have to, but I need to do the brown rice. So I get all the amino acids. So DL says electric water kettle is awesome. No burning pots. Oh yeah, kettle. Oh yeah. I just got a small, oh gosh. I'm so sorry. I just got a small one from Amazon. I think it's their brand. It was like $20. It's perfect. So Joyce says, I'm going to the library later to hear about gardening. Excellent. Yes, I am. I'm nearing. I've got most of a deck made. First of the at least 2 decks I'm making this year. So anyway, Oh, no, I understand. If you have to stick to white rice, stick to white rice. So, all right. How does white or brown rice have anything to do with being vegan? Paula's asking. It has to do with the amino acids. White rice has had the bran and like the kernel stripped out. And that's why you get things like enriched white rice, where they've tried to put some of the nutrition back in, like with enriched white flour, where they stripped out the kernel, the germ, and that took a lot of the nutrition with it. So they try to put some vitamins and things back in. But one of the things in those kernels, both in brown rice and wheat flour, whole wheat flour, is amino acids. And there is protein, there are amino acids, and a lot more things than you would think. So you can be vegan and you'll be fine. You don't have to eat all the 16 amino acids in the same meal. Just try to eat them in the same day. And but it's a good idea to, like, that's why if you're vegan, have your peanut butter on whole wheat bread, because peanuts will tend to have enough, like most of like 8 amino acids, and then the whole wheat bread will have like the other 8, and you get a complete protein. So it's not as strict as it used to be back in the middle to late 1900s. That was a big thing, combining your proteins. So even if you were just vegetarian. Anyway, all right. Renee says, is it a food show or tarot show? I can't tell. It's an astrology show. It's a tarot show. It's a news show. It's a look at the kitties show. Oh, I understand, Still Larson. No. Yeah, I've got to make a page on my website that has like the different products I use, because, man, I found some good brown rice, better than any other. Anyway, so we're just trying to stay steady. Notice the fire behind her. I love this card. Notice the fire behind her. Yeah, we're just staying steady. We're just holding it together. Now, I don't have any pentacle cards here, which is interesting. Queen of Swords, Knight of Swords. So this is the military action. Page of Cups. This is us at home. 4 of Cups. This is a refusal. 9 of Cups. This is the merchants. So to some extent, because we have the government they are dismissive of our needs, but we're doing the best we can. That's really all I'm getting in these cards. We're doing the best we can. So, Melissa, do you know a good TVP? No, I don't. TVP, textured vegetable protein. It's soy granules, I believe. So, yes, back when I became vegan, I had been vegan off and on throughout the 90s, but just after the year 2000, I became completely vegan. So, and there weren't as many options. So I've tried TVP and I've tried different things, and we've come a long way, baby. Let me tell you. All right. Lewis said, sounds delicious, said no one ever. Yes. All right, moving on. GOP, are you struggling? At 4430, Trump still needs Congress, believe it or not. Seems like he doesn't. And heaven knows they all need to grow spines on the Republican side. But they're having, let's call it, internal unity problems. I thought that was a good phrase. The Republicans are having internal unity problems. But there's also affordability headwinds going into the midterm elections. So let's have a look at how Republicans are going to continue to fare here. And there, as I'm shuffling, there's a question from Bear was asking if my parents are vegan. No, I'm the only one in my family who's even vegetarian, let alone vegan. So, yep, girl. Trump's sons aim to profit off fresh demand for drones under father's presidency. Yes, they all belong in prison. Yes, they do. Every one of them. Raymond says, internal unity problems. Fight, fight, fight. And Kat's saying, didn't he put an end to affordability? He did. I think Trump, yes, I agree. Trump put an end to affordability. Lewis says, except for Mary. Oh, yeah, yeah. Republicans, hey, hi. How you doing? Really? Oh, whew, ooh, you are looking at some judgment coming your way. Oh, man. Okay, card for the reading. Oopsies. By the way, I just want to throw this out there. I'm not going to read on it today. And I avoid trigger stuff because I know how much I can hurt some people. So I will keep this as perfectly clean and untriggering as I can. We know there is one particular woman who accuses their current president dumpster fire of something really, really bad, right? And apparently the FBI found her credible enough. They interviewed her back in the day 4 times. Just want to throw that out there. Oh, and of course, Carolyn Levitt keeps running her mouth. The Trump, he's been completely vindicated. Dear great Gussie. Anyway, Republicans, yeah, you thought by going with Trump, you'd just be, waiting for my ship to come in. And what you've got is a huge influx of Democratic energy. Your people are leaving. Your voters, a whole bunch of your voters are leaving. If you're going into an election and you've got the quiet as a tomb card, that's not good for you. There's the whole country passing judgment. So for what it's worth, the cards are saying these Republicans can get stuffed. Yeah. Please vote. Please vote. And if you have voted, thank you. Anyway, okay. So I want to make sure I get to a couple of things here. So I want to make sure we get to the election in general at 4923. I want to say, no, I heard this. I would need verification, but I heard that Trump put out a social media post saying that the FBI had just gone into Arizona? No, New Mexico? Somewhere. And got all their voter information. Which one was that? It was one of the same, but he just announced it this morning on social media. grief. So, I still believe we are going to be able to vote, and the votes will be so overwhelmingly Democratic that whatever shenanigans they want to pull is not going to work. They're not going to work. So, Arizona. Thank you, Chris Cool. Thank you. Oh, because that first big one, was that in Georgia? I have so many news stories in my head, sometimes I get confused. I can't remember exactly. Boy, they are really, really leaning on the cult members. Really leaning on the cult members who in the past have, but this is minor arcana, but the cult members in the past have, they'll refuse democratic stuff. Any Democrats, a communist, all this kind of stuff, trying to stir things up. But the King of Pentacles, this is the Republicans in power. And this is kind of fading a little bit. It's not as gone away as we want it to be, but it's fading a little bit. Those are the Republicans in power. Six of Swords, Hermit. So many of them are I'm trying to ask about the election, and I've just got so many Republicans. Like, I'm out of here. I'm done. No thanks. And in some cases, they're being replaced by primary candidates who are further to the right, but it's not great for you guys. Gee, you think you're facing the consequences of your own actions? Just a thought. So, shenaniganery. $52.45. Let me put this down here then. Right there. 53. 5. Election shenanigans. Sorry, I just realized that was 2 questions, not just 1. So, all right, back up here. Beastman says Glenn Kirshner believes the midterms are unstoppable, and I agree. But thank you for letting us know about that. Okay, we got a cat. Everyone's pregnant. Trump's carrying low an ankle baby. And just the number of laughing emojis in the chat is just huge. That was good. Oh, Melrose. Oh, thank you. Volume's now perfect. Good. And so added the Cankle twins. Yeah. Anyway, shenaniganery. Midterm shenanigans. Melissa says I saw 4 prop planes flying low over my Mountain, Maryland home today. Maybe carting war equipment. It could be. Barksdale Air Force Base, which is pretty near where Sarah is. They had a lockdown this morning when something entered their airspace, but they're not sure what. It could have just been some idiot, private pilot, trying to build up his hours and get his basic license. It could have been a drone. It could have been something more nefarious, trying to keep an eye on things. I don't know, but it was a shutdown. They were on it. This is not Gomer Pyle. Golly, no. Surprise, surprise, surprise. No, they were on it. Things shut down. Shelter in place order. And then all clear. All right. So I told Sarah, I know it's stressful, but if anywhere, they're going to defend themselves and they are on it, it's Barksdale Air Force Base. So, whereas here in Chicago, we're just watching the wind sweeping down the plain. So, Queen of Pentacles. Oh, Amy, thank you. Gifted 10 memberships to random people in the chat. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Queen of Pentacles, Eight of Pentacles, card for the reading. Knight of Pentacles, Ace of Pentacles, King of Pentacles. It's all Pentacles. The Republicans will do what they can as far as shenanigans go. As much as they can, but they can only do so much. I mean, I'm also doing what I can, where I am to make sure I can vote, but I'm also very aware that I'm in a very blue state. So there are some things the Republicans just are not going to be able to change. So, all right. So, there's one other thing I wanted to go over quickly. 57. And anything I don't get to, I'll roll over to tomorrow, even though I know you can't see the unanswered questions right now. I'm trying to I'm trying to create different systems to make this easier, but we'll get there. It's going to take months. Excuse me. So, what is going on with AI in the government and the war? Because number one, I'm surprised the military doesn't have their own thing, but okay. OpenAI, which owns ChatGPT, they are in free fall. People are leaving because, and a lot of them are just going to Claude because it was owned by Anthropic, and they're going to Claude because, I left ChatGPT because it hallucinates so much. It just lies to your face all the time. It's like, no, thank you. But it's also the fact that the government wanted Anthropic to take off all its safety features, and Anthropic said, ew, no. And so the Pentagon got all bent out of shape. So with, using half of his brain, Sam Altman, who runs OpenAI, CEO of OpenAI, who it's ChatGPT, said, oh, we'll do it. And of course, Elon Musk was like, Grok will do it. The other AI, which is his on X. And, we now know that Sam Altman is like, I need to save my company. Yeah, we'll put safeguards. We're not going to take off our safeguards either. Really, we aren't. Please come back. Please come back. It's not going so well. I don't know what's going on with Grok. I have not been able to find much information on what kind of safety measures is Musk keeping on Grok. And if you think all of this doesn't matter, I'm going to have to disagree with you respectfully. Because drones are warfare now. And AI helps organize. So, yeah. Melissa's asking, anyone ever use Grok? I don't think I ever have. I haven't darkened X's door in years. But, whew. Yes. Yikes. True, bro. And there's also a toxic black cloud dropping black toxic rain over much of the Middle East. Yeah. Yeah. So I guarantee you there's some part of the U.S. military that's like, okay, we're going to start building our own. Sorry about the noise. Watching their warfare. Part of going with these companies is that they've already done a lot of the work, which saves time and money on trying to create your own. And they absolutely want this stuff for the drones and and getting materials to the right places. But hermits, they're getting pushed back. It's just the military is gonna have to come up with their own. What could go wrong? Oh, Denise, don't cry. Oh, don't cry. We're gonna make it through this. We really are. We really are. We're in this together. All right. All right. Yeah, so that's going to do it for me for today. Thank you so much for being here. And I know my astrology stuff isn't as popular as the tarot stuff, but I think there's so much coming up that you need to be aware of what's happening. So, all right. In an hour and 40 minutes, I'll be over on the Creative Sprints channel. You're always welcome. We just focus on our projects and encourage each other. It's very simple. We don't cross the streams. We don't talk about politics. Just productive and creative if we can be. But anyway, other than that, I will be right back here tomorrow like I am every single day of the year. Every weekday, weekend, holiday, your birthday, my birthday, I am here. So thank you. Amy says, I like the astrology. It's very ordered, which I love as a Virgo. Thank you. My Scorpio sun is in the 6th house, so I have such a soft spot in my heart for Virgo. Anyway, all right. Yeah, so please remember you're not alone. We're in this together. There are good days ahead. All right. You have this community here every single day. All right. So as always, I'll see you later. Okay. Bye for now.